Uh, Hello and welcome to Gauntlet Wednesday morning drama. Because what I promised myself is to put up drama games in this morning slot because we are still in a bright mood. The sun has just come out, at least at my place. It's 9 in the morning here. And so then delve into some big, deep drama, indulge into the depths of human souls. That's exactly what I think is a good way to start the day. Thanks for joining us. And so today we want to play Durance. We're part of the Gauntlet community, and Durance is a game by Jason Morningstar. It's a story game which he has put on Kickstarter after Fiasco became the superstar of storytelling games. Thanks to Will Wheaton and thanks to Jason Morningstar because of this brilliant design. And with Durance, he was trying to do something else. It's an analogy on the colonization, the prison colonies of Australia. And he's talking about it a little bit at the end of the book, that it's kind of problematic to put the Aborigines of Australia as the aliens, but taken with sufficient care, I think it's still doable without being too ignorant on the topic and the consequences of this analogy. And so we are on a faraway planet, brought here in many weeks, many light years away from our home, whatever that is, in a faraway future. And half of the player characters are prisoners, and the other half are the guards taking care for them. And they're supposed to found a new society there. And the prospectors have analyzed that the planet is actually a wonderful place to live. All conditions to found a colony, a new civilization are perfect. But actually, when we end up at the planet, we find out that half of the things which we got promised are actually wrong. And at the beginning of the game, we are deciding which conditions are actually not that nice. That's a super fun part of the game. Before we start, we say that we have the X card on the table, and the inclusivity policy of the Gauntlet applies. The X card can be used by crossing that everybody can see it, or put X into the folder. And we might also use Roll for Your Party, the fantastic tool by Shane Liebling, who has also implemented the X card there. That would also be fine. So if there's any problematic content, you can request without explanation to have it told in a different way. All right, so let's see what we have. We have one Google Doc where we will start doing the planetary survey and the colonial record. And we have the one drawing with the uncertainty triangle, another tool in the game. And the good thing is at the end of the book, and I will jump to that now, there is a Durance step-by-step description. After 130 pages, we have a short summary on how to play the game. So if you can also jump to that, then we could go through that together one by one. So I'm the host. So I'm responsible for having read the rules a little bit more carefully than you might have. You don't have to read them at all, actually. And if you don't have any questions, we could directly jump into designing our setting, which is the planet and the colony record. All right. So if you have the planetary survey in the Google Docs directly in front of you, then I would say it's my left, I see Tyler on my Google Hangout. So Tyler is the one who has the honor to first decide from the planetary survey which condition is actually true and which is actually wrong.
Do we want to do a roll for your party or some Google Doc where we can keep track of like what we've circled and what we've crossed off in our picks?
I'm talking about the Google Docs which is in the folder. I can link it to you. And there we will. They have everything prepared already. There's like something to cross off and something to circle.
I don't know why that wasn't in my folder. Oh, gotcha. All right.
Maybe. All right, yeah. Yeah, there it is all prepared, and there we can track everything. So Tyler, you could put like an X on the condition which applies, and maybe, oh no, an X which doesn't apply. That makes more sense. And a circle or an O or something which does apply, like for example, like this.
I can't edit it.
Yeah, I just sent you a request to allow me to edit it.
Ah, all right, yeah. It's because, yeah, that's one of the things. I moved the folder into a different folder, and then it adopts the parent folder's editing conditions. So anyone with the link can edit from now on. Now you should be able by reloading.
Ah, there we are.
Cool.
All right, well, I'm going to start by putting a circle around, well, I'm going to try to. I went to view only again. Let me see here. Let me reload that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start by putting a circle on intelligent life, because I think that's always cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to put an X on geology is stable.
Well, that one is intelligent life is absent. So if you circle it, doesn't that mean intelligent life is absent?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then let me change that then. Okay. I'm going to then put, I suppose, an X there.
Okay.
And put the 0 there into geology. There we go.
So no earthquakes. Thank you for that, because I'm exposed to earthquakes here in Guatemala. All right, next in my list is Patrick. So which condition does apply and which doesn't?
I'm sorry, who was that? My headphones are fucked.
You.
Ah, that was you.
Gotcha. So I think I'm going to put it.
You went mute, Patrick.
So we can see the result, which is there's no excellent atmosphere.
That's like I said, my headphones keep doing weird things and it auto mutes me when it happens. Of course, I'm on another screen, so I can't tell. But yeah, so our atmosphere is not good, but we do have clean water and lots of it.
That's good. All right, Michael, you're the last one to make a decision between climate and biology.
Yeah, I think our climate is mild, but our biology is not benign.
All right, so we end up with the letters. I unfortunately deleted the letters. Now I know what letters are for. So we have B, C, and D. C and D. All right, we can look that up. So in the Durance rulebook, there you should be able to identify B, C, and D. That's Twins World on page 69. We have created Twins World. All right. Do you have that in front of you?
Yeah.
Tyler, would you be so kind with your voice and read the survey as it was conducted by the prospectors?
Actually, I'm still trying to find it. You say 69?
Page
Yes.
69, yeah. It's Twins' World.
It's not that on 69 for me.
69
It's
is
71
written
in the PDF.
Yeah, 69 is written in the book, not necessarily the PDF page.
Aha. Okay. Alrighty then. There we are. I've named this planet after myself because it is such a promising prospect that I'm sure to be enshrined forever by this action. Twins World has a stable geological profile, a gentle climate, and abundant water. Recommended for colonization. Twin, Captain Survey Vessel Frederick Valenich.
And now we come to the dire truth. Mikael, do you want to read that?
Yeah, sure. Let's just find the right place here. Yeah. Revised survey. The atmosphere is dense and difficult to breathe, making fieldwork slow and painful. Local flora is alternately aggressive and explosive. Intelligent creatures are very hostile. Coming here was a mistake.
Wow.
Aggressive and explosive.
It's that explosive part that's really worrying.
Explosive plants is great.
And the atmosphere is difficult to breathe.
Hmm.
All right. Very hostile, intelligent creatures. Yes. The details to that we come back later. That's after we have created the plan.
Okay.
Next thing is that, Mikael, you can start by picking for the colony records. So it's the same procedure. You pick one which applies and one which turned out wrong. So go back to the Google Doc.
I think so the interesting ones here. I think the density is low. Can I zero that? Yeah. And the order is not well established.
All right. At least not too many people, yeah? Good. Okay, then it's Patrick's turn to choose two.
Are you not choosing in these?
I'm not choosing in this,
Okay.
no, because I'm the host.
So I think there is something really valuable and sort of stable economy-wise here. So we do have high prosperity. But as you would ideally want on the planet of hostile intelligences and aggressive and explosive plants, planning is not meticulous.
What
Yeah,
could
they're
go
on
wrong?
page 83 in the PDF, by the way, there's also like a little explanation about the words, but since it is a randomizer anyway, we can also look that later up. It's about, so Tyler, you make the final choice.
I think,
Injustice.
yes, I think that justice is not universal, but the workforce is motivated.
Why?
Hopefully for the money.
Okay, so the letters we receive are density, prosperity, and workforce. So it's VWX. And we look up what VWX stands for. That is Mint Hill, page 95. Patrick, this time we have two perspectives on the colony. One is the authority side on the world, like how they view the colony, and then we have the convict side. So Patrick, maybe you can read the authority side.
All right. We're scrambling here, out of our depth. The central compound is all but under siege by the convicts in control of the surrounding industrial outposts. They run the farms and factories and have all they need while we struggle for resources. The few in the ranks of authority who have not been bought and paid for by the criminal elite are trying to hold things together, but larger, more potent forces are working toward a more dangerous course. Collapse, anarchy, the end of everything we've built.
And Tyler, are you the convict?
I can. They say Mint Hill was supposed to be a neat, orderly place, a model authority colony they could all be proud of. Whatever they thought, they didn't count on what they got with this planet, or from the Denver and this bunch of black-hearted lags. As soon as the outposts were up and running, we started showing them who was really in charge. And we're not done yet, not by a long stretch.
So we ended up with a weird sort of inverted colony here.
It's already not on the brink, but beyond, as it seems. Yeah. Interesting. Cool. So let's write that all down somewhere. Like I have, like when you scroll a little bit down, we might be able to, a new planet and our new home, we could like copy paste stuff or even make a picture and post that in. We can fix that one after another slowly. Mint Hill, which is on page, what was that? 95. So there we are. For setting creation, what comes next is the drive. And before we decide about the drive, I would talk quickly and later in more detail about the uncertainty triangle. So the uncertainty triangle is the conflict resolution mechanism here. So whenever there's uncertainty in a scene, we can fall for the dice. And there are 3 drives which can then resolve the scene. So it doesn't say who wins and who loses in this game. But that's something the players have to decide who are in the scene. But it just says the uncertainty triangle only tells us which theme which will resolve the scene. There's servility, there's savagery, and a third one which we can decide upon. We can also change that later in the game. So when the story
can't hear us right now.
Okay. We can make a quick break here if you want to try. I can continue talking here so you can see when it starts working again if you like. Yeah,
He's running to grab some earphones, I believe. I can hear him upstairs running to grab earphones.
Okay, yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah, I think last time I played, I had 2 players sitting in front of the same screen, which works, but it's difficult sometimes. Yeah, because you can't use headphones and one is always closer.
Never tried that before.
Yeah, I use the charms and copy some details about the planets. Mint Hill.
It reminds me of Ethos B. There's a place there called Mint Knoll, where the rich people live.
We're going to try and go with me off speakers because our own speakers because he doesn't have speakers on his computer. If I start to robot or get some echo, let me know. I'll drop and rejoin, or try and see if I can find some buds that'll reach from my computer to here.
Ah, okay, yeah. Good. Yeah, who knows? Maybe this is a reference to Ilfasby.
Could be. Jason is a fan.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is a neat game. I was reading it before going to sleep, and then I dreamed about it all night.
Wow.
Can't say it was pleasant dreams, but it was about this game.
Yeah, I was thinking it didn't sound like pleasant dreams.
Yeah.
Dreams about prison colonies. So.
Indeed, yeah. Yeah, what do we think about the planet?
Okay, can you hear me?
As
Can you
always,
guys hear me?
yes, we can.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And it seems you can hear us. That is good.
Yes, that was super annoying.
Oh, I can imagine. So I was about to talk a little bit about the uncertainty triangle. That when there's uncertainty in the scene, that we can resolve the uncertainty by calling for rolling the dice. And the dice don't tell us who wins in the scene and who loses, but they only tell us on which theme the scene ends. And there are 3 themes possible every time, and one is servility, one is savagery, and the third one is the one we will decide upon in a minute. And the third one can change in the course of the game. There is a possibility in the game to change the drive, but it doesn't happen often. And yeah, and yeah, and it's then something which definitely changes the colony and how it works. Yeah, we can discuss that in a little bit. The uncertainty triangle works before we start the game. Now we have this list. What drives us is ... And each of you can cross out one of the drives in the list which they find the least interesting. So it's about to take one where you think this could be an exciting game. Wow, this is yeah, dear. So next person who can is Patrick. Cross out one of the drives there, and I don't know, maybe put a different color beyond it, or just delete. Maybe don't delete it, because then we can yet later use it if we have to have a look at the drives again.
Okay.
Or if we put a cross behind it, then we know it's not available anymore. And then we take a circle and decide about what drives we also don't want to have, and then until one is left, that's the one into the triangle.
So I think just given our intro paragraphs there, we are probably not striving for harmony.
Yeah, that would be tough, I guess. Good, Tyler. Cross one out.
I'm not sure how to change colors if somebody'd like to do it, but I think indulgence is the one I would like to cross out.
All right, yeah, just put an X behind it or something. Yeah, or do it there. Thanks. Mikael, what about you?
Thinking probably status is the one for me.
So I take the liberty and also take one off, and I would like to take off control, because with control I always have the difficulty to distinguish it from servility. It is different indeed, but maybe not different enough. Right, so who can choose the drive is? I would say that is then Patrick again. Safety or is it freedom?
And what were our base two again?
Pardon? The
The
ones we have already?
the drives that are always there.
The other two are always there, which is servility and savagery.
Gotcha.
So it's to find a third one.
Yeah, I was just trying to remember what they were too.
Yeah. Freedom might have some similarity to savagery, like to some degree. So maybe safety is a nice option, or who has an opinion about that?
I don't know. I continue to be real worried about the exploding plants.
Yes. Well, then it is safety, and in the uncertainty triangle, Google Drawing, I can also post that link into the Hangout. Have it? We know, right? Safety.
Okay.
For every scene we have, if there's uncertainty, it doesn't have to have uncertainty. It will be resolved on one of these three themes until one of us changes the safety one. The other two are always there. And obviously, like in most cases, savagery is the one which resolves more in the direction of the convicts and servility in the other one, but it doesn't have to, especially savagery. It can go very wrong, I would say. All right, that's the drive. So now we shall take a moment to imagine how the chosen drive will be reflected within the colony and how it might motivate our characters, which we will create next. So thinking about the explosive plans, I think answered that question already, or does anybody see something else which directly comes to them?
I mean, also hostile natives.
Oh yes, yeah. And hostile convicts.
Yeah, I was going to say for the authorities' side, there's the danger of the convicts trying to get them.
All right, the next step is the notables. Notables is the word for player characters here, more or less. And so we go back to the Google Docs and scroll further down to the table which I named order. And this is the ladder of authority and convicts here. So the idea is that every notable is somewhere on the social ladder, either on the convict side or on the authority side. And each of us will have one player character on the authority side and one on the convicts side. And so you can't have two on one side only. And you can't have two characters on the same level on the ladder. So you can't be governor and damper at the same time. So the top criminal and the governor can't be the same player, and same for the minions and the functionaries and so on. There are some additional options for the minions and the functionaries, but they are somehow state secretaries, you could say. And then the swells, for example, I think we should have a look at the explanation in the rule book to give you a better understanding of who is what. I have
Free spouses and merchants.
Yeah.
It's on page 11.
On page 11. Yeah, while the bolters are like they somehow escaped and made their life outside of the social hierarchy, more or less. Runaways. Yeah, at the bottom, the wreckers and crawlers are political prisoners and outcasts. Or on the authority side, emancipists, conditionally free, potential former convicts. So, and the idea is that all of the characters have the desire to climb up that ladder, because being at the bottom of the ladder is very dangerous and you're much more probably to die. So you really desire to climb up that ladder in the game. But there's also one other thing which we will define after the creation, which is the oath. So every character has an oath, which they promise not to break. And the idea is that we play for each of the characters in the direction that they break their oath. And the game is over when 4 characters have broken their oath. Then we have told 4 stories on how people change their mind on something. But that is where we come next. So now we create characters on that list. So, Michael, do you want to create your first character and type them in? It's simply by giving them a name and maybe like a paid high concept style short, mini short description.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for a bolter. His name is D'Angelo. And he's like, I think he's like a wrestling champ or something of the in the convict community.
Oh. Then I can't resist. I have to take the governor. And the governor's name is Nuremi. And Nuremi is 4-star general. Former. Patrick, you want to go next?
Who next?
Sorry, I'm trying to. Unmuting's hard now. God damn it, there are 85 tabs open.
Yes. I'm currently looking at the page 11 from the rules book to see like what stands behind the words.
I liked the abbot.
Have a
How
name?
does that go? Minions. There we go. Durance.
The abbot. Dambus licentious, whatever that is, left hand, procurer and purveyor of all vice within the colony. Drugs, gambling, prostitution, luxury items, food theft.
Yeah, I think
Tyler. Sorry?
I was going to say, I think Brance has sort of made his position by getting in good with the natives. He's able to get like supplies and luxury things from the aliens, the native inhabitants here.
All right.
I think I'm going to take the Dimber Damber. Let's see. Let's give him a name. Something suitably intimidating. Pranks.
So on the second round, we can already think about like character relationships. So if you think like somebody could be like brothers and sisters or mother and son or whatever, also introduced, but well, we can also do that still after. Mikael, your second character, this time on the notable, on the authority side.
Yeah, it's definitely the judge guy, judge advocate. For sure. Her name is Naomi.
Any detail you would like to add, or would you like to add later?
I think she's like an idealist. I think like there's something of wanting to come there because to like ensure that people get treated justly, and now tables has turned a bit, so it's yeah, that's my concept, like very roughly.
Then, Patrick, your next one. So, an authority.
Because, well, a merchant. Freya. And I'll think about something about her in a minute.
All right. Shall we wait, or Tyler? Yeah, you're already.
I'm going to take a colonial marine, Sergeant Marco, and he's going to be D'Angelo's brother.
Mm-hmm.
So was D'Angelo like an authority side who went running, or was he a convict who went running?
That'd be up to McHale, but I can go either way with the idea that you decided to desert if you want to, or that I decided to come volunteer for this because I knew you were a prisoner. Whichever you'd like.
I'm leaning to like the latter. I think D'Angelo kind of like got himself into trouble while being like a famous person, and then he came here.
Okay.
And then you probably came after.
Sounds good.
All right. Then I'm choosing. My name. Yes. Lutz. I'm working as a prostitute. I like dangerous flowers. Yeah, and let's see who could be my customer. We will see later.
I think there's sort of a nice implied connection there between Freya and Boots. Set up that Freya's sort of a, it's the authority side is very desperate at this point, and so I think Freya's made a place for herself by finding ways to make like defense and weaponized systems out of the plants that are native to this area.
Yes.
So she has a flower gun shop.
Yeah, and we can also fill in the last slots with non-player characters correctly. And go through it. But we don't have to. And since emancipists and wreckers and crawlers are not absolutely necessary, I think we can keep it tight. Or would you like to have somebody in there?
The ones that I think might be interesting as NPCs would be the Captain Sharp and whoever we don't have, Captain Marines.
Yeah. Well, we could also merge that role and put like the judge advocate into that position, or since the governor is, for example, a general by herself, she could also
that was my
be
thought.
the captain of Marines. But indeed, like when it is absolutely possible to tell the death of one of your characters, and then the idea is to pick up one of the notables, which currently aren't under control. But I think as play always develops, we come up with NPCs very quickly anyway and have to fit them into the system.
Okay.
So I think we could go without the emancipists and the wreckers. And yeah, as soon as we have, like, for example, the Captain Sharp, for example, being brought into place, then it should evolve naturally.
Right, because we'll have emancipationists and wreckers and crawlers along the way in the narrative. We can just name them as we come up, I guess.
Yes, exactly. All right, so after every player has written down 2 notables, the player of the highest ranking notable on the authority side, that's me, should describe how the convicts are controlled and assign each convict character a unique serial number and write it on the notables sheet.
Wow.
Well, this colony was all brought to this planet in good intentions and to educate the convicts to become better citizens. So the idea of giving them numbers and anonymizing them was seen as problematic. And therefore, they got like characters from ancient alphabet called emojis. And this ancient alphabet contains like all kind of objects and pictures and so on. And so you got assigned like a list of these emojis to have a unique identifying number. And so, for example, the Dimber Damber received, and I don't want to put that up there, but I now copy this list, put them into the oaths list below. So Cranks has arrow left. And Brance the Abbot received thumb down. D'Angelo, I have to look up this list of emojis, has hospital. And Lutz received blushing. Oh, now you have your convict code. All right. They are all on your jackets, and they are not like they are not tattooed onto you or something that's seen as uncivilized, but they are on jackets. But because some of them are actually quite useful to give you like nicknames, some of them might be in use, others not. All right, yeah. But you have this jacket with this sign on your back. There are more signs, but yeah, these are the ones which are visible. All right, good. I think I have done that duty. Oh no, I also have to describe how you are controlled. And well, it's all gotten a little bit out of control, but originally there were like gates, like security gates, and you go through and there was an iris scan. So you just had to open your eyes and straight into it. It did work that well anymore because of the dust and whatever is in this atmosphere. So you had to get really close and put your eye there. And then like after 3, 5, 10 attempts, it would work and people could go through. And because it takes so long, it hasn't been established that strictly. Yeah, it was actually a lot of work and people know each other and so on. Yeah, it was the idea. All right, now we come to the oaths, or do you have any other things you would clarify before?
Good.
Right, so oaths are this story prompt thing. There is a whole list at the end of the sheet. I have to find it myself. If anybody has the name list, surnames, oath list. Yeah, it's on page 108 and 109. There are lots of oaths, but you can also come up with your own oaths. But this list is actually quite nice. It was a mouse wheel, right?
Mm-hmm.
I heard somebody's mouse wheel going 100 pages forward.
So it goes.
Okay. So yeah, 108 and 109 are example oaths. The oaths always work like this. You should be able to tell a sentence which states the drive, which is like everybody is striving for safety, but I will never ... And the point is, you can't assign an oath to your own character, but you have to do that to somebody else's character now. So we can now go through this list, and I might make a start. It's quite. I find this mechanism quite intrusive, like giving somebody else like story, but let's see how it works.
It's cool.
I think D'Angelo, everybody is striving for safety, but whatever happens, I will never kill a man. Does it work for you?
Yeah.
Do you want to go next?
Sure.
Okay.
I think I'm going to return the favor. Here's Red Dock for Nuremi. And I will... where is it? Oh, all the documents. I will never ask for mercy. Okay for you?
Never.
No.
Patrick, you want to go next?
Sure. I don't know. I've spent all this time thinking about my character. I don't.
You can do one for yourself.
No, you can't.
Oh, we can't?
You're not. Yeah, you shall not put an oath to yourself by the rules. I'm okay with breaking the rules.
I thought the rule said you could. It's you. I thought you could do it for someone else if you wanted to. Sorry.
I think it's the other way around, but yeah.
I don't know.
Anybody else wants to go first? Tyler, do you have an idea?
Let's see. I'm going to go with Naomi. I'll never abuse my position.
Cool.
So I would. Sergeant Marco deserves one on honor, I think. I will never break a promise.
Mm.
All right. I think for Luke's there, I'll never take charity from anyone.
proud prostitute.
Sure.
So, who wants to assign the second one?
You. I think I'm going for cranks. And I will never moderate my power.
Ooh. Nice.
How can I ask, like, moderate means
Never
what does
hold
that
back.
mean? Never roll back. Okay, yeah. Okay.
And luckily, I can't do anymore.
Ah, yes. Patrick's 2 characters are left. So who has an oath for them?
Let's see. Let's do with how about with the abbot? I like the I will never forgive. I will never forgive the convicts for what they've done to have disrupted this order.
The abbot is a convict.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at that wrong then. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I have a
Across all
suggestion
the
for the
evil
abbot.
lines. Ah,
Okay.
I will never place the people's freedom over my own comfort.
Ooh, that's nice.
yeah, and Patrick, if you want to assign your own character one, it's totally okay. The rules suggest it's more fun to give it to other characters, but you can't do it to your own.
No, if someone's got something for free, that's fine.
It's good.
It's a nice one.
No, we want to go with something nice out of that one. Something like, I'll never allow an innocent to go hungry.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay.
Really good. Well-intended authority side here.
Yes, my charitable weapons manufacturer.
Which establishes that we that food is short, right? We might have a motivated workforce and high prosperity. That doesn't mean everybody gets food.
Right. Yes, our vegetables explode.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, we can fit that in, right? Somehow with the go hungry. I'm thinking about it, how to bring that in.
I mean, natives possibly.
Ah.
What's the problem there?
We have to have hunger in there somehow. And yeah, so.
Well, I mean, we can change that if that seems like it's too problematic.
Well, I think we just need a moment to. I just need a moment to figure out how to do that. The good thing is we have the details now anyway, so we're supposed to fill in. Supposed to fill in the blank positions of the colonial notables sheet. We were considering leaving them empty, the emancipists, the crawlers. Then we shall take a moment to collectively explore and describe the planet, the colony. And we can add details to the planet and while talking about that. So when you scroll up again to a new planet in our new home, I already copied in the details from the colony, but I haven't copied in the example details from the planet. So I need to go back to that. And then we can all choose, like, we can each pick a detail or invent a detail. So for example, I would like to know more about the exploding flowers. Priya can tell us more about that. But first I check where the planet survey is. That was on which page? On page 69. So for example, Twins World has like an abyss, possibly. Uncharted cave systems. The haven for bolters. Or a garden of death, cultivated by a madman.
Ooh, I like that.
8-foot animal snare pole modified to deliver an electric shock. Or an abandoned research station with windows shattered outwards.
So, are we adding details to those lists? Are we choosing a detail out of that list and the others aren't true? What are we doing here?
We are choosing details from that list or come up with our own details. I copied them into our sheet. There's like details from colony and details from planet you can see in the outline. There they are, and I think, Tyler, you decided you would like to see the Garden of Death.
I do like that idea.
That sounds cool.
Cultivated by a madman. So we want to establish who that is already? Or something more about it?
Do we want it to be one of us here, or do we think that maybe that's something that the natives, that there's this native madman shaman type that has a garden of death?
That sounds good. A shaman. Maybe also somebody wants to establish something about the natives, about the aliens.
Yeah, what do folks think about them? Euler.
Trying to find the description of our planet again.
No, page 69.
I'm about to copy it all in. The revised survey. And the survey. That didn't work.
Yep.
Do we need to use details for describing them? Or just...
You can. This is just an example list. You can come up with your own.
Where was the other one? 100.
So the atmosphere is dense and difficult to breathe. It would also be something interesting to find out about. Field work is slow and painful. The local flora is
And there's a lot of water.
the intelligent creatures are very hostile. Coming here was a mistake.
I'm imagining them as being like amphibious.
Ah.
Maybe, but like quite human-like. Like they have gripping fingers, but like maybe more like lizardy's complexion.
How do we call them?
Yeah.
I bet we have some derisive name for them.
Like the Twinners?
Something that, since we're the colonists, and if it's that British analogy, we probably think of them as low people. So something like glubs or whatever, something that's kind of insulting.
Yeah, maybe call them frogs.
Frogs, that's good.
I like frogs.
And now, Garrett, when you do them, you'll have to give them a French accent.
Oui, oui.
Oui, bon. C'est possible. Bon vin blanc. I was living in Paris for nearly 2 years, but all my French is overwritten by my Spanish now. Okay, so we have a frog shaman who has a garden of death. Oh, that might be interesting to go for a mission there. Do you have a place where you put that in? Do you put that under the planetary survey, or do I would suggest we do it under the details. But yeah, the document is a little bit messy at the moment because I copied this all in without thinking about it. About the dense atmosphere. So I think the frogs, they have a good reason why they developed underwater, because I think the air is always full of pollen. Like the flowers, they spread their pollen, and all kind of colors are in the air. So it's kind of foggy, but because of this dust in the air, it's like green, yellow, bluish dust, which is always going around there. Does that sound good?
Sounds excellent.
Yeah, I like the idea of sort of like not sentient, but sort of mobile pollen, sort of virus-like, maybe. Like it aggressively infects and then grows in things.
That seems cool.
How has that changed our body? Has somebody an idea what happened to our...
Do you think we have to wear like breathers, maybe?
Yeah, I think like ubiquitous gas mask rebreather things.
Yeah.
You're wearing gas masks?
At least outside and anywhere that's not like several layers into a building.
Ah. Then I would suggest that the gas masks have become like the #1 fashion item, like to decorate them and so on.
That sounds
Yeah, of course. Fashionable gas mask.
Well, Yeah. What else do we want to see? Like, I'm also looking at the agents provocateurs. There we are with the French word. Like, having a riot group, maybe. Or since we have so many good, well-intended authority, do we want to have a group among the authority which is not happy about the human rights approach? The governor and his folks. I don't know.
Yeah, we could have like a set of the Marines that are more like bully boys that kind of abuse the prisoners if we wanted something like that.
Yeah. These are the, yeah. Give them a name.
Let's see, they probably have gotten to where they're a little doing it on their own. The fist, maybe?
Yes.
Or the boot.
I like the boot a lot.
Boots. Cool. Good. That could be enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I delete the rest. Details we did this. Yeah, there are so many nice things among them. Gas masks are always necessary outside. Agents provocateurs among the Marines, called the Boots, are causing trouble. And then there is a Garden of Death outside, this one, run by the Frog Shaman. Full of infectious pollen. And the amphibious lizard-like humanoids called frogs are hostile. Under the ground. Yeah, and it seems that there are at least times when we run out of food and it's difficult
Okay.
to get. Looking back at our survey, so we had.
I think for hunger and difficulty with food, we could maybe tie that in with the pollen too. Like we have breaches into our hydroponic and gardening systems, and if any of this native pollen gets in, it just overwrites and takes over whatever plants are there.
Ooh. That's pretty cool.
That's cool, yeah. And so from the description of the authority, we learned that there are large complexes where the authority doesn't really have control anymore. On Mint Hill.
And we have some industrial outposts that got built before things went to shit.
It's all but under siege by the convicts in control of the surrounding industrial outposts. They run the farms and factories. Yeah. Protein forces are working toward a more dangerous course. Okay, yeah. Here we have them, the boots. So, and the convict side describes the Dimber Damber and this bunch of black-hearted lags. Okay. Cool. Going back to the notables. We have some I would like to quickly go through and see if I want to clarify something about one or the other character. Is that okay for you?
Mhm.
Because then after that we wrapped it up, and then we can make a tiny break of 5 minutes, and then roll dice for savagery and servility in the chosen unique tribe. Then we discuss how a scene works and start playing. Okay, so Cranks is a quiet killer. Will never moderate his power. Yeah. And what kind of relationship do Brands and Crank have? So Brands is working for Cranks.
Yeah, what are you thinking,
Brands
Patrick? I like the idea of we probably, let's see, you'll never place people's freedom over your own. I think we probably should have a nice working relationship, kind of that trust idea. How do you think on that?
Yeah. I guess that sounds good.
You may not particularly, I don't know if you like me or not, but I probably bring order.
I don't think he particularly likes Cranks. I think Brance has gone a little weird and a little native. He's more interested in sort of philosophy and thinking of the frogs, whatever their non-pejorative name is, than he has in like the authority and human structures, at least how they've turned out.
Sorry, I'm trying to make.
Okay, so D'Angelo, and so you did something stupid. I understood correctly, and this is how you ended up as a convict.
Yeah. I think he killed someone.
Yeah.
Defending his I think his wife. Yeah.
Promise yourself you will never kill somebody again.
Yeah. Came into a lot of trouble
Right,
because of that.
So you're like fundamentally a good person.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but not like. I mean, he fought for a living. I would say like it's a fundamentally good person, but he's like a reasonably reliable, not terrible person, at least.
Yeah. Well. All right, like Lutz, I would like to establish on a very simple and survival mode kind of level. Cool. The emojis are coming. Cool. Yeah, I think this character will also start pretty simple. So it's quite interesting. These are 4 male characters, while on the authority side we have 3 probably female characters, plus the sergeant.
Oh, is Lutz a man?
Lutz is a man, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Nuremi is also like always straight back, and she's cool. And Nuremi also, I think, what I would like to establish her as is very straightforward. Yeah, but we will see that in play, I think. Yeah, and yeah, Naomi, I think I will never abuse my position. I can imagine something, yeah, that Highly idealist, yeah. There was one thing I wanted to ask, like about brands. Never place the people's freedom over my own comfort. That means you're quite vain, right? How does that express? Have you an idea already?
I think he basically just skims off of everything. He always has really insanely large stockpiles of food. He has a house that's just all decked out. He, rather than making the most profit, he holds extra things back for himself.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Shall we already learn something about Sergeant Marco? Or would you like to see that in play, Tyler?
I am kind of envisioning him, especially with this oath and this idea he showed up to kind of be with his brother who's in trouble, and he hopes he's going to be able to redeem D'Angelo. I think he's probably a really decent person. So, you know, I think he's a good guy sort of person.
Good.
More than that, we can come up with as we go, I suppose.
Yeah, that's good.
I think
all right, I feel comfortable.
He's a kind-hearted person.
Yeah, and just for Freya, I think like, does it make sense that Freya is already having like giving out food secretly or something?
Yeah, I think she has managed to secure a large bit of the real estate inside of the compound that we have left. She managed to requisition a large amount of space because she's growing these weapon plants and making things that can help save us from this dire situation where the colonists are trying to run us over. But sort of in the middle, hidden in that space, she's illegally growing food. Like the space has been very strictly laid out for, we need these defensive capabilities, but she's eating up some of the real estate in there to grow food for like I think there are like families and various people who have become alone or orphaned through the violence that's gone on, and she's sort of taken pity on them. Yep. Where they would normally get like a small gruel ration, she's trying to flesh it out and give them more to eat.
Any relationships we would like to establish? I think it's all fine. They are all established sufficiently enough, also across the ranks, and everything else we can come up and play. Then we do you prefer the starting play directly after the break? Then I would now explain the uncertainty triangle quickly, or directly have the break.
Let's go ahead and take a break now.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, see you at 40.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
Mm. Mm.
Taste this. You can test things.
So we're all back, it seems. I created a role for your party room.
So you did? We did?
I have created one. The link is in the Hangout.
Okay.
Here it is again.
Yeah.
Fully vital woodcock.
Is these names random generated?
Yes. But they are like tarot cards. They always suit well.
Yeah, that's good.
I've also added pictures for my characters.
I have my picture down there. I just can't manage to haul it up.
Ah, where do you? That is Marco, or?
No, that's Cranks.
Ah, that's Cranks. Okay, I might try. Yeah, it's anyway the question if we. I think it's better to put that into this order table. The pictures. And because otherwise we have to scroll a lot when being in the oath table, which is also important.
Yeah.
It's not a perfect separation anyway, but yeah, there isn't really a place how to keep the characters, their ranks, their details, their oaths, and everything together. Yeah, but we work it out. Between sessions, we can repair every mistake we have made in terms of organizing the sheet. But yeah, the Quiet Killer is up there. Okay, and Lutz is up there, and Nurin is also there.
I'll have to find something for Marco.
Yeah, cool. So we can try to use Roll for Your Party for the uncertainty triangle.
Okay.
So if you, I hope it's also a triangle for you because it's sometimes organized differently depending on screen size and everything. Does it somehow? Looks fine. Okay, cool. So it more or less looks like the Google drawing with the uncertainty triangle. What I can't do in the Roll for Your Party, but which is relevant, is that they are arrows in clockwise direction between the states. And how that uncertainty triangle works is that you have to look at the numbers there And if one number is higher than the next one, clockwise, like in this case, savagery is higher than safety, but safety isn't higher than servility, 1 versus 5, and servility is lower, so not higher than savagery, then only savagery is a possible outcome. So only if you are higher than the clockwise next drive, you can choose that. So sometimes you have 2 options, and sometimes you only have 1 option. When you have a pair, so 2 numbers equal, the same rules apply. You still look what is higher, then only one is higher than the other. But also a random event comes up. And there's a list, a big random table, which says, for example, if you have a pair of 2 and a 5, then this is something like there's smoke somewhere.
Gotcha.
And so you have to bring that into the scene as well, this event. If all 3 numbers are equal, then it's an epic event, and the scene is interrupted, and this epic event can go anywhere. This is like our mother colony is coming and visiting us or something like that.
Gotcha.
Epic. Then life-changing events.
And we re-roll after every scene?
We re-roll whenever there's uncertainty in a scene. It usually happens once per scene. It could happen not at all, or it could even happen several times in one scene. But usually it's once per scene, and the scene is over afterwards.
And do we
it's
re-roll all
scene
3,
resolution.
or do we re-roll all 3, or just one of them, or what?
It works like this. There's a guide in every scene, and the guide is it starts the scene by posing a question to the other players, and the others are then obliged to design a scene in which this question is answered. For example, I would like to start the game with a question about what the Dimber Damber thinks about the abbot's indulgence when he learns about it. So then pretty obvious who is in the scene, and usually I should organize as a guide that my characters don't play an important or better no role at all in that scene. So I'm asking about somebody else stuff, and I try to point with my question story into a direction that one of the characters will finally at one point break their oath. Then, as a guide, I lean back and simply observe the scene. I can add details to it, but otherwise, I'm not doing much. It's like a fiasco scene, very much fiasco-like. That the others are simply playing out the scene and can add details whoever wants. There's no game master role. The guide, though, is at some point saying there's some uncertainty, it seems, and then the guide is the one who selects 2 of the dice from the 3 dice, and re-rolls these 2 dice. And then the guide is the one who decides on which theme as well. So sometimes if there's more than one option, then the guide can make a decision. Yeah. And yeah, and scenes can be anything between 1 minute and 10 minutes, but usually they are short and tight.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So
and
really
they are
focus scene.
pardon?
That's it. Really have a focused scene and get into it, get through it, and get out.
Yes, and there are scenes in abundance since we don't have to roll, and since there's no no progress accumulating or whatever. You can also really ask very simple and easy questions. It doesn't have to always be about the big things. It's totally okay to have a a monologue, flashbacks. You can even have scenes without any characters in it. The difficult part, I think, is, and I think we are able to manage it, but the difficult part for me has been that there is no authority in the scene building. So it's the guide, and the other three of us have to find a way to come up with a good scene together.
Oh, you
And
mean
usually
by authority,
everybody's a little
no
bit...
one has any control, it has particular control of the scene, not authority like the...
Yes. Yeah, not authority in the game sense, yeah.
Okay.
But authority in the, yeah. There's nobody in control who says, this is our scene, this is how we do it. So we should all be courageous and not be too polite about asking, are you all fine with this? Is it really okay? And so on, because then waste too much time in constructing the scenes instead of playing them. That has happened last time a little bit. Took us too long to design the scenes. Okay. So I stick with my idea for the first scene. Maybe I make it a little bit tighter. I make it a little bit tighter. I would like to ask you, what happens when Cranks confronts his abbot, Rance, with his indulgent behavior? Does that work for you?
Sure.
Yeah, you feel okay? We'll
All right.
give that a shot, then. I imagine that we're probably at one of the outposts, and since you and I are in charge and you like the high life, that we probably have lots of stuff. We have plenty of food ourselves. We have probably drinks and that sort of thing, some luxuries. But let's see, you never squander your comfort, so how about it does really seem like you've built up a little hoard of the best shit.
Okay.
I come walking in, I suppose, to your quarters, and let's see. Let me look at check your name.
Yeah.
Durance. Durance. We absolutely have to start distributing this, some of this stuff to the other men. If they're not getting their goods, they're not going to be loyal like we need them to be.
They have become used to what they've gotten. It's, if they don't know there's not extra, what are they missing?
They're hearing that you're living it up in here. They're starting to grumble.
I'm sorry, are you saying that you're having trouble controlling the rabble that you've gathered around you?
Oh, Brance. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you need to part with some of this shit. You can't be loading up here. The boys don't like it, and it may get difficult for you. You don't want them, well, eyeing your back too tightly now, do you?
Well, I wouldn't wear coats this nice if I didn't want them looking at me.
You keep this up, Brance, and you're going to be getting in some troubles.
The way I see it, I'm the only way that most of these luxuries flow through this world, and so I have control over how they flow.
I hear you, Brance. I hear you. And I'll menacingly walk out, I suppose.
So I didn't see any uncertainty. If you don't have something in your mind, like it seems if possibly Crank would act now, then we could call for the uncertainty triangle. What do you think, Crank? Or do you let
Right
it
now,
sit?
he's the one who's bringing in a lot of our loot. I can't just go and slit his throat right now and get a new one. So I'm probably going to, as I head out, there'll be a bully boy or two that meet me in the hallway outside. And I'll give a keep an eye on him. Something may have to be done with our very comfortable friend.
So, by the way, everybody can call for uncertainty, not only the guide. So if you want to see uncertainty here, then we can call, or do you want to call it a scene? Anybody?
Yeah. We've established some tension, but I don't know if it pulled a full-on conflict out, but it certainly establishes our relationship a bit.
Does, yeah. So it's fine for me. So I don't need uncertainty here. Cool. Thank you. And do we want to name the guy who is looking after Brands, his new nanny?
Yeah, let's call him Hobbs. That's always a good name for me. I like Hobbs.
Hobbs. Okay, yeah, we can put them in the notables or somewhere list. I don't know, like maybe we have an NPC list which is not table-like because it absorbs too much space. Cool. All right. Then I feel my question is answered, and somebody else can take over the guide role. Maybe Tyler, you want to do that?
All right.
Do you have a
You
question?
two have actually played, so why don't we see you and Mikhail do something, since Patrick and I are still floundering around figuring this game out. Let's see. Looking at our characters here, that definitely seems like it should be the counterparts of what we just saw. So it should be Nurimi and Naomi.
Yes.
And my question is, what idea has Naomi come up with to take to Nurimi to try and get control back of these convicts, or at least gain control back of some of these farms? That seem like a good question?
Mm-hmm.
And who has done that, Naomi or Norimi? Who are you asking?
Naomi, I know the names are close. Naomi
Yes,
is
on your side as well.
Naomi is coming with the idea to
all right, good.
convince Nurimi.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's good. I'm welcome you in my office. My office is on the third floor. I can look over the market. There's a market under a globe which is protecting us against the dust and all this colorful nonsense. And I have a nice window so I can watch over the market. And I'm standing behind my desk, my hands behind my back. Naomi?
Noemi, I see. I've been thinking about our problems with the prisoners.
I always tell you, call it challenges. It's not problems, it's challenges.
Well, challenges then. It seems to me like the only way this will end is with bloodshed, the way we're doing it now. I mean,
which we promised ourselves shall not happen.
yeah, true. And so I think maybe it's time to let go of our roles as the oppressors. We are on this planet together, and I mean, maybe we have to do it another way.
We are not oppressors. We establish the rule. And the rule is oppressing us all equally. Authority and convicts. You know that. Haven't you studied something like that?
We're not equal under the law here. That's what I mean.
I disagree, but still, I'm listening to you. Because that's what a good governor should do.
Well, if we could manage to get the convicts and well, us too, I guess, to agree on a framework of law we can have in common, then maybe we can establish some sort of peace, some sort of functioning society, not this. I mean, we are not in a very good position to make such a bargain, but I don't know. Seems like the only way to me.
You know, on our home planet, these people have done crimes, serious crimes, capital crimes. We doing dishonesty to those who suffered from convicts by just leaving them out here. This is not how it works. Everybody has a sentence. There's a file in this cabinet over there, and it says how many years they have to serve. After they have served their sentence, they are left out. That's the rule of the law. I know it's hard to keep it up at the moment, and I'm very unhappy that we had to close the doors. But you want to give up everything here. I mean, they are out there. They will come in and they will kill us all, the authority.
I mean, they might in time anyway, and then it's too late to make any agreements. And what they have done is I mean, it doesn't matter out here. We're all in the same place. This and it looks like out of like the globe and like this godforsaken place.
Well, sooner or later, the frogs are coming. Like the drones we are sending out, they are telling us that they are gathering. They are more. They reproduce like rabbits close by, and because of all the waste we dump, it seems they like it. No, you're not doing anything. We first have to solve the problems we have, the challenges, and then we can talk about like a relief or giving at least some of them, emancipate some of them. But until then, you will shut down. I will never want to hear you about talking about this again. Right? Are you with me?
I think you can see like Naomi holding her tongue for a little bit, and then in my position, it's important for me to say whatever I feel is important, but I accept that you will have the final decision. You know what I mean?
Good to know. Where do you have your paperwork? Can I have a look at it?
My file?
Your file, yes, like where you have laid out your plan or whatever. What do you call that?
I'll send it over.
Does it sound like there's a conflict here?
I mean, I guess there is, but
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, you will think also the file. You will delete it in all copies. I will send out scans on my authority as a governor here to check tomorrow that all files are gone. Everything what you have written down shall not exist anymore. I don't want to see any kind of disagreement among the authority on this topic. All right.
Noremi, I'm not a convict. You can't do that.
What do you want to tell me?
I'm not telling you anything. I'm just saying that your authority to control what I do is it's not. You don't have authority over that. And she like turns around and I guess we'll be seeing each other later.
I nod to the guards, the Marines, possibly Marco as well there. Saying, bring the judge advocate out. She understood my orders, and she will fulfill them. I could imagine that being an uncertainty to see which direction that goes.
Mm-hmm.
And the guide needs to choose 2 dice from the uncertainty triangle.
All right.
If you agree.
I do. So I choose 2 out of this those will be the one of those will be what we go into, or we'll see what we're capable of at that point, right?
You're choosing 2 to re-roll.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
You choose 2 to reroll, and then you have to look which is the highest. So if you reroll the 1 and the 6, you might end up more less likely with savagery, for example.
Do I roll them independent, each one individually?
Both at the same time.
All right.
So which ones did you re-roll?
Savagery and safety.
Ah, and safety turned out 1 again.
You did.
Okay, but what we can see is that the guide has 2 options, servility and savagery. Because servility is higher than savagery, and savagery is higher than safety.
Okay. And who decides?
The guide decides.
So I do decide how this goes out.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're going to go with savagery.
All right. And I would interpret that there will be a kind of a rebellion starting.
We've already got like the boots out there who are itching for a fight.
If Naomi wants to ally with the boots.
I mean, yeah, I interpret at least that the people who are under what's her face? Oh man, I have so many tabs open. Oh no, I closed it. Damn. What was there it is again. That at least that the Marines are divided in how to handle this, and then maybe start fighting amongst themselves instead of like doing their orders.
Ooh, so some real hostility happening between them.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, authority is about to fall.
Oh, so I understood correctly that at least some of the Marines are following Naomi and not Nureni. All right. On which side is Marco? Or is that already a new? I think that is a new question already. Sorry for asking.
So
So
who
you
gets
keep-
next?
So it seems you keep your files, and I believe that they are deleted. All right. Does that make sense? Okay. Ooh. Trouble, trouble. Trouble ahead. So next would be Patrick. That's the guide. So you ask a question, and the others design a scene.
All right. Let's see. I'd be interested to see in what happens in one of the semi-regular secret meetings between Cranks and Naremi.
Ooh. Secret meetings between the two leaders.
Yeah, I want to know what's important or common enough to drive the two of you to actually meet and talk rather than trying to kill each other with pawns or knives.
Sounds good, yes. So we have a secret meeting. I think the Dimber Damber should decide where to meet, because I don't want to expose any of the places I usually meet with Dimber Damber scum.
Is this something you think we do fairly regularly? Or do you think that this is just like a very rare occurrence and we contacted each other to have a meeting?
I wouldn't meet with you normally.
Okay.
I think you're disgusting. So for me, it makes sense that I called for the meeting because of I have an urgent thing to tell, something urgent to tell you.
Okay. Then I'll have arranged it at one of the outlying farm pods, but one that's fairly close to the central area.
Right. I'm coming, and I bring two of my best and most loyal Marines with me, and they are on guard outside.
As far as you can see, I've brought nobody.
Yeah. Don't trust your second.
General, how
Right.
nice of you to visit.
Don't pretend you aren't an asshole. You are.
I'm a well-fed asshole.
Too well fed when I see how your people are starving.
My people aren't starving.
I'm totally okay with calling them your people because I know that they are not under my control anymore. But that doesn't matter at the moment. My drones have identified that the frogs are putting together something they would call an army. They can't directly threaten us, but they could threaten the production and also turn nature against us, as we've seen last year. This is a serious issue, and I need your help on this.
Well, if you would be so kind just to give some of our fine citizenry some weapons, we would happily fight to stop the central pod
Shut
from
up.
having any trouble.
Don't dare to believe that I would ever voluntarily give you anything. I know that people among the inner circle of the colony of Mint Hill are thinking about going into an alliance, but I'm not among these. I know this is suicide. We will not do that. The only thing I demand is that you may give us the way that we can move with our heavy tanks through your rows, and that you clean the streets. We're not bombarded by any nonsense which you usually put out there.
General, the last time your tanks came rolling through, quite a few of the workers and farmers found themselves with broken bones and busted heads. How am I supposed to trust your troops aren't going to go psycho?
Which was your fault. You didn't have your people under control. They came out when they shouldn't have. So I demand from you, clean the street or this could end up bloody. Tomorrow afternoon, the tanks are rolling through the West Street and go to the fields to destroy the harvest the frog people have put there. A harvest which would turn into deadly weapons for you and my people.
Of course, General. We'll make sure the streets are clean and swept for you.
So I think maybe there is an uncertainty here in how Cranks is going to react to this. Because I at least foresee two possible outcomes of you could either work to let these forces through and go deal with the native threat that she says is there, or you could accept the kind delivery of armaments that Naremi is sending to your territory.
Yeah.
That sort of makes sense.
It makes sense. Please roll the dice.
So I'm going to re-roll servility and safety.
Okay.
Good lord, safety is just fucked.
Yes, at the moment, but if you re-roll.
No, I did. It's the third one that's been on safety.
Yes, and we have a pair of threes, which means we have a random event.
Ooh. All right. Where are those?
Yeah, where are the random events? I see
1
event list. Here we go. Tight threes plus a 1, death, amid violation, and agony. It's something we have to both into the scene.
Wow. And our only option is savagery?
And the only option is savagery, yes. We have savagery and we have to bring death amid violation and agony in. Does it make sense to push forward to next afternoon when the tanks come, or do you want to explode the situation here in the farmhouse?
I guess we should probably push that to the tanks unless we want to just do a hard cut straight to, like, what happens, and then we go straight to Fallout as our next scene. That's up to you.
Well, I think he was saying, do you think the violence and savagery happens with the tanks, or do you think it happens in this room right now?
Oh, it's definitely when the tanks come through.
Okay.
Because you don't moderate your powers, I guess. So you're not really giving in. Okay, death. But okay.
Well,
so next afternoon, we jump forward to next afternoon. And also other characters can come in. So if anybody wants to die here or not.
Mikhail, you haven't guided yet. Is this so we are on a new scene?
It should be the same scene, actually.
Yeah, this is the fallout of this scene.
All right.
The fallout of the scene, yeah. So
I see two things that can happen here, just as thought. One is that the bully the boots come in and cause trouble despite not supposed to happening, or I set a trap and I'm trying to steal your armor. I almost like authority, the boots causing the trouble, but since I am sort of in a position of power at the moment, it might be better for me to do the villain bit. What do you think?
I think since your oath is that you will never moderate your power, you are too close to break that oath. So if you do something to keep up.
All right, then
your
we see the Marines go marching through, and behind them are rolling the tanks. And
I'm in the first tank.
Oh, that's wonderful. Then I'm thinking I probably have had the boys bring up some mining drills, and we've cut rather thin level of, there's still some dirt, probably enough that could hold up a person, but has a big tank trap underneath it.
All right.
The idea there being that our people will try and swarm the Marines while the first tank has gotten stuck and all the other tanks are hooked up behind it.
Okay. I think my tank rolls over the mines and explodes, and I'm blast away. And, well, next moment, you see my head rolling without my body directly to your feet, Dimber Dember. Is that what you wanted? Shall we cut the scene there?
I think that's a good cut.
Yeah. And so I'm dead, and I can now choose another notable, and somebody can create an oath for me, or I can do that by myself.
Poor Remy did not last long.
It was too good for this world.
Hate to say I told you so. All
right. Yes. Well, Naomi, now you can prove that you're a better leader.
Right, because now that'll move Naomi up the ladder, right?
Yeah, if somebody dies, then some things change.
Oh.
I'm about to try to find in the document that part. It's on page 37, as if someone breaks an oath. I didn't break an oath, so that doesn't push us forward to the end of the game. So when all oaths are broken, it's gone. But I think we could still change positions on the ladder. Yeah, because it's not only if an oath was broken, but also when somebody is removed from the game.
So you end up with on the bottom with a new one then?
So yeah, I can pick up whatever, and now we don't have to follow the rules anymore that only one person is one rank, and we don't need to look this that you have only on one person on one side.
Okay.
But I think I would introduce Maya, the frog friend. She is an emancipist, and is known for having a relationship with a frog.
Oh.
I haven't come up with an oath yet for her, but I will do so in a minute. Otherwise, Mikael, it's you're the guide now, so you can come up with a scene.
Yeah, I'd like to see a scene between Freya and Lutz about, I think, like with a new change in power, what if they think that the convicts and the authorities can can coexist.
Hmm.
Gotcha.
Finally, two rational people.
So I think maybe it takes place in Freya's shop, where she's got all of her weird, explosive botanicals.
Yeah, it's I'm.
Or do you want it to be at Lutz's place of work?
I think maybe you're not a paying customer anymore at this point in time. So I'm also visiting you by day and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I'm a fan of dangerous flowers. Like, hey, have you heard about what happened? The governor is dead.
But Governor Naremi?
Yes.
I
She was about to go out, I heard, and going through the streets of the Dimber Damber. And the Dimber Damber betrayed her.
no,
The tank exploded.
I just got back from one of my expeditions. I was out, searching for new things. I hadn't even had time to catch up on the news.
I told you shouldn't do that. It's dangerous out there. Everybody is saying the frog people are coming.
The frog people aren't that much to worry about. They've never moved against us before. I think honestly, some of your colleagues worry me more than the frogs.
Oh. Maybe, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Say he
Brand's
blew up
such
one
a
of her
terrible
tanks.
person. And the way he grins, he grins like a frog. Brand's is... I don't know how to describe him. I really want to see him dead. Yeah. Cats are also here.
Freya will pull out of a case that she's sort of obviously brought back, and it's like this glass enclosed container that has a plant inside of it. Just say, I found an oasis, a clearing out in the swamps that has the most remarkable plants I've never seen before. Not in all of my crawling through this place. This one has these thorns that, as she reaches up and points at the edge of the glass, the spray of thorns comes shooting off the plant and hits the glass there in response to it.
Oh. Yeah, I think you still don't understand. Your plans are not the most dangerous thing here anymore. But this colony is completely destabilized. The Boots are about to take charge. And they're terrible people. And in the end, who knows what's going on with the Dimber Damber and with Durance. I'm also sure he's also about to take over power.
Lutz, you shouldn't worry so much. Naomi is here. Naomi is very level-headed. She'd never let the Boots take over anything. They're just bored soldiers looking for some sort of clubber identity. It's not something you have to worry about.
I tell you one thing. You come with me now. I bring you into safety. I don't want to let you here in your shop anymore. They will come and rampage through the whole colony. Really, you come with me. Let's go to one of the outposts and hide there until everything is over here. Take your most valuable possessions and let's go.
But if I leave, who's going to run the garden? There are dozens of swells that don't have anyone to take care of them anymore. They've become lost as the people that looked after them died. I'm the only one here left taking care of them.
You come with me now or we'll never see each other again.
Dudes, no.
Priya, I love you. No.
I think that's definitely an uncertainty there.
Yes. The guide. Roll the dice. Let's see if safety finally plays a role in this game.
You're muted, Mikhail, and you're also muted, Tyler.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh God, what happens now?
Do we go for an epic event now already?
Looks like it.
Oh no. Okay. Who has it in front of him? It's on page event list.
Event list.
Epic event.
Oh, epic event. There's
Creeping.
threes? Yeah. Creeping madness.
Creeping madness.
Ooh.
Something is driving people insane. Who is it affecting, and how is it something in the air or the water, or is it the pressure cooker life in the colony that is causing it?
Oh.
And if this stops, will it spread until the entire colony collapses into insanity? So my proposal is the globe, the protection globe, is collapsing because of another bomb, a plant bomb. And we have blue and green pollen coming in, while hardly anybody wears their masks. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so we into the parts where we were like behind enough layers of protection that people don't think to put on their masks.
Yes, yeah. In the center of the colony, I guess is a globe protecting everybody, and this one is exploding.
Is it completely down, or would we like to say it's just started leaking, so we have a gradual madness coming on to us?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
creeping. It makes sense that it's like leaking.
Yeah, but it's an epic event, so it's a mass panic. I take Fria's hand and I run as fast as I can to the gas masks, and then because we know this is a panic causing a panic, I run with you. I take you, and I don't care anymore if you want or not. We run out and we run to the governor's building because it's the only safe place here now.
What's our outcome, Mikhail?
Well, it's an epic event, so
But
there's
I mean,
there's no outcome anymore.
Oh, is it not tied to one of the three things?
No, there's no dominating die.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
It's epic and so far. It goes all crazy, and you can all bring in your characters and make this and tell us what all the characters are doing, I would say.
So I think the explosion was, and the leak now, was near one of the barracks where the Marines are staying, and it's the one that's been like most famously known for having the boots sort of gang spreading through it.
Yeah.
That
So
makes
they
sense.
So I think whoever said that, either the frogs or the convicts, knew that was a boiling point they could sort of hit.
Okay, cool. What is Naomi doing?
She's in the governor's building, and you can see like her. Like, it's probably like a big like bang when they sabotage the thing, and she like looks up and you see like the dust like coming in, and then like people, probably like a lot of people like running towards the governor's building, as that's like a safe place. And I think she likes screams at the guards in the intercom. Only let unarmed people in.
Only unarmed people. All right.
So I think Freya, like, as this is all exploding and Lutz is yelling at her to run, she grabs a couple of bags of stuff, but before we head out, she goes to the garden where she's growing her stuff and basically takes measures to self-destruct all of the weaponized native plants and just leave the sort of food crops in the middle left as the only thing left there. And then, yeah, she's freaked out, and I think we'll run with you.
Okay, then I have Maya. Maya is standing with her gas mask on, with her frog friend, on one of the hills, and is saying, "He's about to kill all of them. The whole colony is going down. And your people didn't have to do anything, but just wait." What is Marco doing?
Marco's standing guard at the door and hustling people through his quick, hurry, get in. But he's casting looks back out towards, because I'm guessing this dome is just for like the authority controlled area. It's not the ones that are outside. Yeah. So he's casting a look out there, and you can see that he's really pretty pissed. While he's never been one to join the boots, he's really mad at what's happened here, and you can see that anger growing in him as he's pushing people through. And he'll look over at one of the soldiers with him and say, "It's time. We've got to crush these scum before they kill us all."
And I think there's a sort of cutaway shot to Brance in one of the outer industrial outposts. He's in the middle of all of his like finery and furniture, and he's there smoking something that puts up like a green smoke as he's just lazing and indulging. Someone comes running in with messages about the Nuremi and the tank explosion and about the crack in the dome, and Brance is just there. He's just giggling. He's just madly excited and drunken and just sort of laughing at all of the chaos.
D'Angelo?
It's probably like working some of the fields outside the dome. And you see like people. I think you just like hear the bang, and then probably see like frogmen's like encroaching on him.
Frogman's coming.
Oh.
You say? That was a fly on my webcam. Okay, the frogmans are also coming. Oh wow. Okay, but now I want to know what Cranks is doing.
Cranks has quite a few of his thugs around him, and you see that they have picked up the weapons that they've managed to scavenge off the people that didn't get away when they set their trap. All right, boys, through the breach. Save the women. We'll need them.
Final words, I would say. So we leave it there in terms of playing and wrap things up for today.
Yeah, I think that's a good climax point.
Yeah. So yeah, so we will see next time who has caused all this trouble. Are the frogmen in charge here, or is it only Crank, or have they allied, or how comes this all comes together at the same time? I think it's Crank's. All Crank's work. Yeah.
I don't know. Part of me has this sort of weird thought that maybe Brance has just been Machiavellian in the back with this thing and has his deals with the frog people that he's made to be a frog king.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It takes some getting used to, this game. I didn't come into it with my fully understanding what it is, but it has a real adversarial point. You're trying to make people break those oaths, aren't you? I mean, you're wanting to really drive at hitting people to be in sticky situations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get to know the characters a lot at the beginning. That takes some time.
Yeah.
Or you can just kill them off in the second scene.
Yes. Yeah, then you have to learn even more characters about. Yeah.
It's interesting, but and I see where it has a fiasco-y feel. But it took a minute or two for me to realize that this is really going to be just improv and trying to push these scenes, and that took a minute for me to get in my head.
Indeed, yeah.
It was fun, though. It's interesting.
Yeah,
I enjoy Jason's games. It's a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. The uncertainty triangle, I mean, we had like, well, you could call it bad luck or good luck. I don't know. We will see that we have like an epic event already in scene 4. Creeping madness. So the powder those who are affected will even turn mad. So we should that when we continue playing. So I assume that we could still, even after such disruptive events, still make like a 2.5 hours game out of this. What do you think next week?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a lot of time. That's, I think, like what we learned. Like, if you want to have one scene for every character, we haven't even seen all the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then I think like it would be nice to see like before a character breaks their oath that they have like 2 or 3 scenes even. And that means we have a lot of scenes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good for next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. And yeah, and what did you think about the setting creation?
It's fun. I like setting creation in general. I mean, sometimes I enjoy it more than the actual game, but this is like interesting. It makes it
Yeah.
interesting. It's an interesting setting.
I like random charts. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that there are random tables on such a prominent place, and but they are like controlled. That you can choose like, do you want to have a good atmosphere or not? I mean, you still have control, and still you end up with something random. This collaborative, controlled randomness is something I highly enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
rather than flat randomness. And it's a nice planet. Cool. All right. Then I need to think about an oath for my new character, for Maya. And yeah, and then we see each other next week. Let's stop the recording.
Yeah.